everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am MG Kaler or Mariah Donahue, or whatever username you know me by on the internet as. Hi. It's been a moment. I had baby number 5 and I just got off of postpartum leave. I was in the process of editing this video before, but it ended up being over a half an hour and just way too difficult to edit. So I'm redoing this now that I've composed my thoughts a little bit better. So as the title suggests, I will be no longer writing 18 plus style romance or spicy romance smut. I will not be writing smut. I have come to this decision after a long thought process and discussion, not only with my husband but with my editors and stuff like that. So it's been a long process of trying to figure out what I want to do with my writing, and this is something that I feel like I need to do. Pardon, the toddlers are upset and they're hanging out with Dad downstairs. So if you hear them cry, I'll try to edit them out as best as possible. So I started writing novels and self-publishing them back in 2017, and there was quite a few very graphic sex scenes. If YouTube censors me, YouTube censors me. There was very graphic sex scenes in all of my novels, and that's what I grew up reading because I used to read Anne Rice and Nora Roberts, as well as all of the fan fiction in the early 2000s. I mean, fanfiction.net and LiveJournal had, even though I was in middle school and high school, I was able to read that stuff, and I thought it was normal. Me and my friends would write these things. We would write lemons and such as part of being part of the fandoms. That's just how you wrote fan fiction back in the day. And I think that's how most people write fan fiction now. But I was part of the Dragon Ball Z fandom, the Harry Potter fandom. I still am. I've just grown up and have toned down my fandomness. I do fantasy stuff now. And the fantasy genre, while I was trying to republish my books with the second edition with new covers and updated editing, because I had some typos that I had to fix, I noticed that all of Instagram and TikTok, all of the fantasy books that they were doing were just heavily graphic, and the story wasn't good anymore, and I just didn't feel like I should contribute to that, especially since I was struggling myself with porn addiction. Yes, women can and do suffer from it, and I understand that it's a very bad coping mechanism that stemmed from some traumatic events that happened in high school and me being introduced to things way too young. I was introduced to this stuff way too young. I remember being on the internet and actively searching for it, like around middle school age, 11, 12, actively searching for this stuff. And back then, hentai and other things like this, especially yaoi and yuri stuff, they were just considered normal animes, at least in my high school, middle school. So I thought it was normal, and as things progressed, as I got older and as traumatic things happened, I used it as a very unhealthy coping mechanism, and I am still struggling to this day with it. Like, I am deeply struggling with it, and I am not ashamed to admit that. I'm embarrassed that I have to admit it, but I'm not ashamed of it because this happens, and I don't want to be writing that anymore. I don't want to be the reason somebody stumbles on their journey of getting rid of their sex and or porn addiction. Written smut porn is still just as bad as stuff you find on Pornhub or whatever. It's just as bad. And I think it's worse because it's so normalized, and I don't want to do that. So I decided that I was going to rewrite all of my old novels, rework them, make the story better, cleaner. It'll still be graphic. It'll still be an adult paranormal romance series, but without the sex. Anything that does happen will be implied, closed door. My other novels, I will try to keep clean if they are made for middle school to high school age, but if it's made for adults, I don't mind doing the closed door thing. I won't write graphic material anymore. I can't do it mentally or emotionally anymore. And I see that as a sign of maturity and my growth as an author, and understanding that I have a problem, and if I continue to write this, my problem isn't going to get fixed. And I don't want to be a part of someone else's problem. I want to write novels that make you feel good and inspire you, and not make you feel negative emotions. So that's just how it is. This is not as deep of a conversation as that I wanted, and I'm okay with that. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I am leaving paganism and becoming Catholic, and I will be talking more about that side of everything in another video. But this is just, I'm no longer writing smut. I don't feel like I can do it anymore in good conscience. I have a porn addiction, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'm not afraid to. And I know a lot of women are struggling with this, and one of the things that they struggle with are books, and I don't want to be a part of that. So my books have been taken down. They got taken down a while ago. I'm editing them. I'm rewriting stuff, and I hope that you'll continue to follow me, and I can't wait to republish them as a new edition. So, thank you for stopping by the Wizard's Cottage, and I hope you remain safe on your adventures. Bye.